much looking forward to them coming this July. Anne opened her eyes again and was met by her own reflection. Then she shivered. She grabbed her hair and felt it. She really should see a hairdresser soon. She was letting herself go. How about today? Why not? She asked herself. I can do anything I want today, and tomorrow and the day after that. Anything I'd like to. Anything. Because nobody needs me anymore. Chapter 2. Maybe we should give you some highlights to lift it a little, or maybe a full color. It was a new girl who took care of her at the salon. Her name was Hannah, she told her. Her hair was purple on one side and steel gray on the other. It was boyishly short and seemed unruly, but that was probably the intention, Anne concluded. The messy look was in right now, they said in all the magazines. Sure, I'm ready to try something new. Why not? Okay, let's do it. You're going to absolutely love it, Hannah said, and as she said it, Anne immediately regretted her decision. This girl was fresh out of school and wanted to try everything she had learned. I'm going to end up looking like her, aren't I? So, gray is the new color, like steely gray? She said, and showed Anne a magazine with these gorgeous gray-haired women who couldn't be more than 20. It didn't look anything like Anne's gray hair. Hers was stiff and impossible to control. Theirs was waxy and smooth and looked gorgeous. Do you want that? I already have gray hair, Anne said. Why should I want to color it gray? I want you to cover the gray. Hannah looked surprised and slightly disappointed. Oh. She turned a few pages in the magazine, then said, It's just that everyone is doing the gray now. That might be, but I'm not, Anne said. Just give me a nice brown color. Maybe some highlights. Hannah forced a smile and closed the magazine. Okay. Anne submerged herself in the stack of tabloid magazines and caught up on all the gossip there was to know about the royal family and all the TV stars in the country. You know, the stuff that you simply had to know if you were going to be able to join in on the conversation at dinner parties. And Anne really wanted to. She had started seeing some of her old friends for brunch once a week at Cafe Mimosa downtown. But she never knew what to talk to them about, since their worlds were so different. As Hannah washed out the color from Anne's hair, she heard it again. At first, she thought it was the hose or the faucet that made those slithering, slurping sounds. It was like a wet crackle, like something slimy was moving slowly inside the drain. Anne gasped and lifted her head from the sink. Whoa, Hannah said. I'm not quite done. Anne looked at the sink, at the drain beneath her head, but there was nothing there. She closed her eyes and tried to think of something else, something that made her happy. Your grandchildren running in the sand? Alberta with a bucket in her hand, giggling. Is everything all right, ma'am? Hannah asked. Anne opened her eyes again, then nodded. I'm sorry, I just get a little... sometimes. You're not feeling okay? Anne breathed in a few times, deep breaths like the article had told her. The one called Panic Attacks and How to Avoid Them Ruining Your Day. She shook her head. I'm fine. I'm just fine. It's just that noise. She wrinkled her nose, then looked at the drain once again. Hannah stared at her. It's just the water, she said. I know. I just can't stand it. Anne put her head back in the sink and closed her eyes, while Hannah gently washed out the last remnants of the color. Anne worked hard on her breathing exercises, trying to keep out the overwhelming noise coming from the drain below. Chapter 3. She rushed out of the salon and into the street where she had parked her car, barely hearing the slushing sound as it moved in the storm drain beneath the pavement. She started the car, then turned the music up loud and drove off. Finally, she couldn't hear it anymore. If the sound was still in her head, the music managed to drown it out. She had heard the sound for quite some time now, for at least a week. It was everywhere she went, except in places with loud noises or music. But it was surprisingly quiet on Fanoe Island in most places. It was especially bad at night. She would lie awake and listen.